Your online family is excited. Oh, thank you, darling. Yay, we are here. We are live. So happy to see you. I just said to the group in the room, we've got someone from Spain. I see Edmonton, Canada representing. How beautiful that is. Thank you for joining us from around the world for tonight's beautiful Aquarius Full Moon ceremony. I hear we've got, thank you, Karen Brown, I love you. She always says I see you. And then I know, like, I'm officially live. It isn't real until Karen Brown says she sees me. So I was playing singing bowls for your friends in the room. Don't be jelly, but it is kind of, I try to do something special with everybody who's here local in LA, and you've got quite a group of friends and family joining you tonight with some special guests. We've got Skylar here. Quite a few special guests tonight. I love you guys. Bear with me, I think I screwed up my camera, but it was worth it to show you everybody. So we're happy to see you. Oh, that's awesome. You know, Canada, actually, after the United States, is where we have most of our SG community. So we love you in Canada. What I need is a nice invitation to come up and do a book signing. Because I'm waiting, if I can get to Montreal, which is the best food in the world, in my personal opinion. It won't take much to lure me up there. I would prefer to come to you in the fall, I will tell you. You know. Anyway, putting the word out there. Okay, tonight's ceremony, someone gave me a peach.
I did.
Did you really?
In Colorado.
It's a Colorado
the best peach in the world.
Oh my God, it's very sexy.
Palisade.
I thought it was like because the peach emoji is kind of a sexy little thing. Someone flirting with me. It's a sexy little peach.
Hey, I have a peach.
You have a peach too?
Yeah, it's called Princess Peach.
Princess Peach. Skylar has a Princess Peach. Caitlin's 5-year-old. Thank you, Karen. Caitlin's 5-year-old is joining us too. I love that. And Brenda's birthday's tomorrow. Anita knows what Palisade is. Apparently it's a thing. I didn't know. And then Cynthia said, no, Texas peaches are the best. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to begin by smudging with you. And I want to talk to you a little bit about Aquarian energy. I talked to everybody who was in the room before we started, but I want to catch you guys who are online up to speed on that conversation. So Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo. So it's a sign that I frankly struggle with. My mother's an Aquarius. And you know, we have perfected the fine art of butting heads. But the one thing that I really do love and appreciate, I guess you have things you need to clear. Here, do it really quick. The one thing I really do appreciate about Aquarians is the lack of judgment. Aquarians are not going to judge you because Aquarians think that they're crazy. Have you noticed that crazy people don't judge other people? That's probably why I don't judge you. I know I'm nuts, so I don't have to wonder about it. I think all the best people are, right, for Alice in Wonderland. But anyway, I love an Aquarian full moon, and I'll tell you why. It might be uncomfortable, but it will dislodge you. How many of you feel like you're stuck in something, a relationship, a paradigm, a thought pattern, inner monologue about how not perfect you are for different things, right? Like, how many of you feel like you're stuck in something? I have the same feeling. And honestly, right now, my job, I don't know about you, I feel like I'm trying to identify what it is. I don't think I've even really identified the little pocket. There's a pocket. And so I have work that I do when these moments come that I'm getting ready to do myself. And what I try to do is teach you some skills and give you a ceremonial space to try to unpack your own pockets. Tonight, if you're willing, this meditation is going to shift you. It's gonna unstick you a little bit. But you have to be a conscious participant in this process. In other words, and I almost want you to close your eyes as you listen to what I'm about to tell you, so you really hear me. If any part of you being stuck is serving you, you're less likely to try and shift it tonight. So, let me give you an example. Some people feel like they're stuck in poor health, but that poor health gets them pity and attention and I don't know what it gets them. That doesn't tend to be my perspective. But for people who are in poor health, sometimes they're like, if they didn't have the poor health, they wouldn't have something to complain about, something to talk about, something to get people to feel sorry for them about. So sometimes they subconsciously want to stay there. Does that make sense? What I've learned to do with myself, and it's really hard to do this for yourself, but I've done it, is ask myself, do I really want to let that go? You know, there was something I was complaining about constantly a couple of months ago, just didn't like this thing. And I asked myself, if that thing changed, would I be happy to give up the complaining? And part of me was like, I kind of liked complaining about it. Like it was, I don't know, it was entertaining, or like it gave me something to focus on, or distraction, or bless you. But do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Sometimes having something to complain about or feel bad about gives you something to focus on so that you are distracted from the real reason you're here, which would require you to step up, fly right, you know what I mean? Bless you. And do the thing. And so what I really had to sit with myself about was, you know, I am willing to, because if you think of your energy as a pie, if you give, you know, your energy to that slice of pie, if you stop giving that energy to that slice of pie, you have more energy to give to the other parts of the pie. So you have to ask yourself, it's like a cost-benefit analysis. If I stop complaining about this thing, that gives me like 5% of my energy back to go and focus on what's actually working and do more of that. Does that make sense? So tonight I want you to like close your eyes and ask yourself if you can commit to getting unstuck. Because when you get unstuck, you're and it could be that you're stuck in a perspective or you're stuck on an issue. Do any of you spin on things? Like it happens to me at night sometimes, but like I can't, it's like a tape that just kind of goes over and over. It's like, and you know what's happening? Like you're smarter than that, right? Like I'm playing this tape over and over again. And it's usually stuff you either can't control or can't fix, or like there's no reason to even be going over it. So are you willing to stop playing that tape? Like to delete the tape? I have to exhale there too, because what does it mean? It means you don't get the juice that you've been getting out of talking about or complaining about or focusing on that one thing for so long. Some of us are worried, and this I've experienced with a lot of clients, some of us are worried that if we stop focusing on that thing, then the thing won't have any energy. But if I don't worry about it, if I don't focus on it, do you know what I mean? Like, who else is going to do it? If it needs to be focused on, it will be focused on. Like, I hate to break it to people, but you're not that important. Like, this is a big universe, right? Like, if spirit guides want something focused on, they know how to move heaven, earth, sun, moon, and stars to get attention focused on something. They do not need your personal 80% of your energy. Does that make sense? So it's a little bit of a wake-up call tonight, whether or not you're willing to do that. And I hope that you are. It's a worthwhile effort. Okay. Now, these, I want to tell you, these hearts over here in the classroom, I did ceremony with today. And these are called the Change of Heart hearts, okay? I started working with them during the Lion's Gate before it opened. And I'm only telling you these because I think Claire's putting them online tonight. So just so you see, that's all we have. It's only like 20 or 30 hearts. But if you want something to hold the frequency of what I'm talking about, like a talisman that you can actually work with, that's what those hearts in the room are for. You guys can't see them online, but there's a picture. Okay, that's what I wanted to tell you. Now, tonight's tools, we are working with the Star card. This was Gabriel's gorgeous interpretation of one of my favorite cards in the Major Arcana. And she is crossing the Star Gate, the Star Gateway, as we will be doing in our meditation. Your stones for tonight, I put an ammonite in there. Do you guys know what ammonites are? Yes. They're little organic. This was life. This was a creature millions of years ago. And over time, it agatized and filled with calcite. And so it becomes like, it is a stone, technically. It's hard like a stone, but it actually is a creature. And so these are about awakening ancient wisdom. Ammonites form in the Fibonacci spiral, or the golden mean, the golden ratio, if you know what that means. And so it's really, really sacred geometry. We're using sulfur quartz tonight because I'm trying to shift your energy, and sulfur is an alchemical substance that transforms one element to another. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to take what's hard in you and make it soft. I'm trying to take what's watery in you and and set it on fire tonight. There's fire agate, which supports that work as well. And then I put pentagonite in here, which is about the recoding of DNA and the balancing of the 5 sacred elements. So those are your crystals. What I'd like you to do is choose 2 that you're going to work with in our meditation. Any 2 that you are called to work with. I would recommend, by the way, the sulfur quartz. But then I think from the other 3, it's really your choice. And then if you're not using the kit, whatever stones you're working with, just use your intuition, because your intuition is usually right for you. Sashi said, I love that I have a peach and an ammonite.
Hi, Sashi, miss you.
No.
Athena has your peach.
I have your peach.
I'll give you
Okay. We are working with Cosmic Perfume tonight, which is a Stargate Crossing blend. We had extra bottles of Stargate, by the way, so the team broke it out, so you can just get Stargate if you want, which is kind of nice if you choose after tonight's ritual. Sometimes people like to get the perfume or a backup bottle of it. It is a blend of, let me check my notes so to tell you everything. What you're going to smell first is frankincense Oman, which is an upper chakra blend. It's very important for spiritual work. It's been used for meditation and astral travel for thousands of years. You have mugwort, which is the same thing. Mugwort opens the third eye, the crown, and the soul star chakra. And then you have bay, which is for protection. Bay kind of keeps you in your body when you're doing heavy duty work like this, and lavender, which will keep you relaxed and calm. So that's cosmic. And then the last thing we're working with tonight is incense. Did you see the incense? Did you love it? Isn't it pretty? It's like this beautiful, I'll show you online what it looks like. Team SG, we ideate these incense blends. But when I see the final product from Amanda and her team, it just always blows my mind. That is our incense. Isn't that gorgeous? So it's meant to connect you with stardust energies. Isn't it pretty? It's kind of like gold, and I'm spilling it as I showed it to you, but I thought it was really, really pretty. And there's frankincense and myrrh in there. So again, frankincense and myrrh, if you think about it, these were the gifts given to the Christ child by the wise men. They've been used in churches for thousands of years. They're veil crossing resins. You know, it's not what the Christians would call it, but that's okay. The Catholics wouldn't call it veil crossing, but they know what we're talking about. Catholic people love a good ceremony, y'all. They do. And you know what? I love going to Mass. I really, really do. And I do it whenever I get time or a chance, because the Catholic Church still really sings to my soul. It doesn't have to sing to yours, but it definitely resonates with me in a lot of ways, especially at the holidays. I feel such a connection. Okay, you ready? You ready to do this? Okay. I want you to roll your shoulders back and call your energy into present time. Tonight we're going to the stars. And one thing that I really like to do ahead of a meditation like this is try to imagine my body becoming as light as it possibly can. So releasing any heaviness or tension from the top of your head, clearing your mind, letting go of any thoughts in your mind right now. Just be present in this moment. Lifting up your chin, imagining just lightening your entire head, your neck, rolling your shoulders back. Let go of anything that's worrying you, anything that's stressing you out, anything that's distracting you. Release it all right now. It does not need to have your attention in this moment. I'm cooking some incense right now. And then I want you to, as you release all of that tension and stress from your shoulders, I want you to continue that process down. Open your rib cage. When we're stressed, we breathe like this, like little shallow breaths. I want you to release any stress or tension in your lungs, your diaphragm. I want you to relax your entire digestive system. If you're somewhere sucking it in right now, I want you to let it out. Relax your intestines. So we're breathing big right now. Belly is soft, releasing all tension from the hips, nothing being held in the body. Relaxing your leg muscles right now, letting them just go like jelly soft, softening your knees, softening your calves and your ankles, curling your little toes, letting any stress out of your feet. And I want you to imagine that your entire body shifts to become almost like a feather, like where if someone were to blow strongly behind you, they could blow you over. And let your entire being just pixelate and become as light and feather soft as you can possibly be in this moment. If a stressful thought comes into your mind, notice it, release it. Notice it, release it. There is literally nothing to worry about in this moment. Nowhere to be, nowhere to go, nothing to worry about. And so, I already opened the circle once, but I'm going to open it again. And from this place, we connect with you, Guardians of the East. We're so grateful. Tonight can be a really powerful new beginning if you choose it to be so. If you choose tonight to be an ultimate reconnection with your soul's purpose, and if you choose tonight to be a rebirth, to be released from bonds that have been holding you back or constraining you in any way. So we welcome the Guardians of the East who can show us the pathway to clarity tonight, helping us to rise above the circumstances of our own individual lives to see the connection and the commitment we've made to each other. How can I be of service on this planet at this time? It's our mantra. We welcome you into the ceremony space. Guardians of the South, element of fire, we seek transformation tonight. We're ready to change. We recognize that we're stuck. And so tonight, Guardians of the South, we just invite you in to shift, to move, to transform, to help us shapeshift, to help us shed old skin, to help us see a new vision for our lives, one that is illuminated and one that excites us and what makes us want to get up in the morning and have a new beginning in our lives. And so we welcome you in the ceremony space. Guardians of the West, we ask for emotional support and healing this evening. We ask for emotional healing for our planet this evening. We invite in your healing waters. We ask that you help us to release, to soften, to allow, so that we can become better versions of ourselves. We welcome you. And Guardians of the North, we welcome you into ceremony space this evening with humility and with gratitude. Now more than ever, we need your stability to hold us like a parent holds a child as we grow. Remind us that there's always a steady hand to hold, someone to support us, someone to nurture us. We're not walking this path alone. We welcome you into ceremony space. And Guardians of the Upper World, we're going to be greeting you this evening. We're so grateful for this opportunity to enter your stargates. Tonight we seek a reconnection with our host star, the star from which we descended when we made the choice to come back into human existence. And so we look forward to greeting you, welcoming you into the ceremony space. Guardians of the Middle World, we thank you for our beautiful community. We ask that you keep our connection strong, help us to nurture and support each other in a good way, help us to resist judging, but rather to just keep an open heart, open lines of communication. We welcome you into the ceremony space. And then Guardians of the Lower World, as we enter the star systems this evening, we maintain a steady cord down into the center of the earth, tethering us, connecting us, plugging us into the earth's own power grid. We welcome you into the ceremony space with gratitude. Amen. And so it is. The circle is open. Okay. So there are many star systems, my friends. You can keep your eyes closed if you want, so you stay in that really soft space. I'm so glad you guys are here tonight. There are many star systems. The three primary star systems that most of us tend to see ourselves having descended from are these. The Pleiadian system, which is a 7-star system. They're known as the Seven Sisters, and we've worked with them extensively at Sage Goddess. In my experience, the Pleiadians are fourth dimensional beings, meaning, I was telling the group in the room, sometimes when you think you see someone out of your peripheral vision, has that ever happened to you? That's fourth dimension. If your vibration is high enough in this lifetime, if you're doing all the work, if you're working with crystals, if you're working with oils, if you're raising your frequency, you will start to see fourth dimensional energies, but you'll think it's like, I didn't really see that. That's Pleiadian. And those tend to be, some people call them human cousins. They tend to be one form of spirit guide, but not as advanced, in my experience, as the Syrians. Syrians tend to be 6th dimensional guides, and Syrians tend to be proper spirit guides, meaning either ascended into spirit, pure spirit, or having lived through a greater number of lifetimes. And so the Syrian guides, I identify with the Syrian guides, a lot of people do. And then the third group tend to be the Orion star seeds. Some people see these as also connected to what are known as reptilians, in sort of a modern language. The Orions have a plus-minus charge, meaning those from the Orion system sometimes come in intentionally with a lower frequency in order to disrupt. And so you might see someone in society, for example, who's disruptive, but that can be a conscious choice because disruption creates change. And sometimes, in my experience, what's called the Galactic Alliance makes a choice to work with a disruptive soul on the planet in service of the higher evolution of the collective. Did I lose anybody? Okay, good. I tried to explain one of the most complex things I can possibly tell you in a way that you would actually understand. So whether you identify as Syrian, Pleiadian, or from Orion, or another star system that you might identify more than those, tonight is an invitation to go back to where you came from. And I don't mean the moment you were born. That isn't when you came back. The moment you were born, or the moment you came back, was that spark of conception, in my experience. That's when the soul says yes, drops in, and forward the process goes. So before we begin, I want you to choose your 2 stones that you're going to work with if you'd like to. I'm going to anoint with my perfume. The perfume is designed to open the upper chakras, but also to open the lower chakras to keep you safe, so that you don't fly too far. You want to fly, but not too far.
Could we borrow this?
You sure can.
I have like 10 minutes.
Why have 10 when you can have 11? SG perfumes were made to mix and match, so you kind of can't come up with a bad combination. I believe so. I mean, the reality is I don't think any of us have solved the puzzle about when the soul enters the body. I don't think we need to solve that puzzle. Is it really going to help any of us to know the moment? It does, and we enter through the soul star, but we come from a star gateway. And that has a lot to do with why you're here on this planet, whether you're here to create peace, to create disruption, and some people are here consciously to create disruption. And rather than looking at that as a negative thing, I look at it as a positive thing. Disruption creates change. So we need agents of disruption. Sometimes disruption becomes violent, and that's where it takes a negative course. But disruption in and of itself is actually a very positive thing. In the tech industry, there's something known as disruption, and it's the goal of every tech company to disrupt other technologies, right? So I try to take negative definitions and really make us look at them from a different perspective. Does that make sense? Syrians are here as earthly guides. They are teachers, which is why I identify with it. Does that make sense? Okay, so roll your shoulders back, choose your stones. It's funny that pentagonite wants to go, but I thought it was going to be the ammonite. Maybe I'll hold both. And then my little fire agate looks like an anatomical heart, so in the bra it goes. It's not another nipple, it's like a little extra friend over there. Okay. Shoulders back. And so coming back to that, and as I tell you this, you can come right back. Even if you listened to me and got out of the zone, you can get right back by going, oh yes, my featherlight self, and just almost like you're dusting yourself, just again removing every ounce of tension, distraction, anything that's worrying you. You can find it later. Get back to featherlight. Feel the energy of the crystals in your hands, connecting, receiving, giving thanks for that energy. Now I want you to bring your attention to the very top of your head, and this is something, honestly, anytime you are stressed, you just repeat what we're about to do for the next 15 minutes. Okay, it'll get you out of a panic attack right away. I want you to bring your attention to the very top of your head, which is your crown chakra. It's your last corporeal or physical chakra. I want you to imagine that it has petals like a lotus, and I want you to see it opening and blossoming. It's like the little soft spot on your head just opening. And I want you to envision a beautiful beam of light extending from your crown chakra and feel it sort of pulling you to straighten your posture, even if you're sitting up or if you're laying down. Feel your spine sort of expand as this energy pulls you skyward, lengthening and stretching. And now envisioning that beautiful beam of white light, about 12 inches above the crown chakra is your soul star chakra. And I always imagine that like a lotus too, and the petals just opening and the lotus blossoming. And from the soul star chakra, our energy system starts to expand and divide. Because above the soul star chakra brings you into those 6-dimensional angelic and star gateways. And so I want you to imagine sort of becoming so light that you become one with that beam of light that is extending out of your crown chakra. Let yourself lose track of your body for a couple of minutes. You don't have to worry about your body. Become fully one with that beam of light extending from the very top of your head up as far as you can see. And imagine that beam of light then spreading out like the limbs of a tree. It's like a firework expanding above you, and you're becoming part of it. And I want you to, I have chills feeling it, I want you to feel in that moment as you expand through that light firework, I want you to feel the breath of our universe expanding around you. All of a sudden you go from thinking about what you're going to make for dinner to imagining that you are standing in the middle of all of the stars in the universe. And let yourself fly. This is where you came from. Your soul has missed this beautiful, expansive space. And for as broad and as massive as this celestial gateway system is, it also feels intimate and like a hug because you're known here, and you're known here by 1,000 names. Every lifetime, every decision, every heartbreak, every joy, every success is documented in the hallways of eternal wisdom. The Akashic records reside here. And so, Spirit Guides, we ask that you lead us now that we've entered this cosmic space. We ask that you lead us now. We see the many gateways. And here are the angels to the gateways to the seraphim, which is the highest order of angels. And here are the gateways to the lower angelic realms. And here are the gateways to the Akashic space. And here are the gateways to the Orion Stargate. And here are the gateways to the Sirian Stargate. And here are the gateways. And on it goes, the Pleiadian gateway. And so it becomes like almost like a shopping mall, and you feel the energies coming from all directions. And so Spirit Guide, lead us back to our original Stargate tonight. Wherever it is that our soul, when it chose this lifetime and when it entered this vessel, where did it descend from? And we ask that you take us back there tonight. Feel yourself flying through these systems and dimensions. It's almost like you can feel the air behind you as you move through. And it's effortless here. You think you are in a place, and there you are. You think you're in the Sirian Gateway, you are there. And so as we navigate back to our gateway of origin tonight, Spirit Guides, we ask that you reconnect us with our original purpose for coming here. How many years ago was it?
That's a long time.
So many years, right, Skylar?
Yeah.
We're rolling that time back. We're taking you back to a time when you weren't as cynical. You weren't as wounded. You weren't as confused. You weren't as distracted. Taking you back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years to your first year of life. In those early moments when all you wanted to do was touch and taste and feel this life. You wanted to explore it. You wanted to hold it. You were struggling to find words. You wanted to communicate. You had passion. You had excitement. It was easy to make you giggle, right? So taking you back to that place. And then even rewinding you back before then, before the womb, before you were an intention to create life. When the actual structure of your contract was being written, that happened long before your parents embraced. You decided the terms of this contract. Spirit guides, take us back to that moment, that time. What were you showing us was happening here that needed our help so badly? What picture did you paint for us? Who did you bring to us and say, she's going, he's going, she's going, he's going, as a reminder that we weren't going alone? Who did you choose to love? Who did you choose to create? Who did you choose to support? And now here's the critical piece of this journey for tonight. I want you to look at yourself through the eyes of that being. I want you to look at your life right now through the eyes of that higher self. What would that higher self say to you about where you are right now? I have a feeling that higher self would have immense compassion for you. I have a feeling that higher self feels incredibly proud of you. And so I want you to take a moment, and I want you to, whether you need to cry it out, speak it out, think it out, I want you to talk to that higher self. Ask for support, ask for clarity, ask for direction. Ask that that guidance be transmitted to the crystals that you're holding, so that even tomorrow when you go back to work, as long as this crystal's in your pocket, it's going to continue to beam this information, this insight, this purpose to you. What is your higher self saying to you right now? What do you need to do more of? What do you need to do less of? What's an important truth that you need to see that you're not seeing at this time? And if you're feeling in your life like you need deeper support and more love and more nurturing and more compassion, ask for that right now. Spirit guides, see me. See me in this time and in this place, in this world, in this phase of our development. Help me to feel more connected, more nurtured, more supported, more seen, more witnessed, more loved, more appreciated, more accepted. Whatever it is for you. I mean, I'm putting words out there because that's what most of us are seeking, right? In one way or another. And in the room, feel free to speak it if there's something that you're claiming tonight. There's real power in your words, and you're not going to say anything that the rest of us aren't claiming. So it would be beautiful to hear your voices. And online, you're so welcome to claim it in the feed. What do you need right now? The sooner you name it, no apologies.
Self-love.
Self-love. I like that.
Be calm.
Acceptance. Trust.
Acceptance, trust,
Courage.
courage,
Patience.
patience,
Faith.
faith,
Confidence.
confidence,
Trust.
trust.
And with it.
Guidance.
Beautiful. Keep it coming.
Surrender.
Passion.
Passion.
Clarity.
Love.
Love. In the feed, they're giving us companionship, safety, strength. It's a good one. Confidence. It's beautiful. A purpose. I see you. Sipleen said, my higher self is tired. I definitely reluctantly came here. Right? A lot of us reluctantly came here. And you know why we came? If it was reluctant? One word. What do you think that word is? Love. Love.
Love, yeah.
Love. We came here because we love each other. If I don't know, any of us or me or your neighbor or your sister said, I got to go do this really hard thing and I don't want to go alone, would you go with me? I mean, I'm that person who'd probably say, yeah. I mean, can I sleep for an extra hour? Then I'll go. Right? Right? We are the ones who say yes. There's a lot of people in the world who say no. They tend not to be on this live or in this room. The big people who say no, or I'm selfish, or I'm going to focus on me, tend not to be the people who come to ceremony to focus on personal evolution. Oh, I see you. I would go with you too. Okay. And so the star card in the major arcana of the tarot, which is what we're working with tonight. I used to read tarot for decades. Don't read it so much anymore for other people, but I still pull my own cards. And when I get the star card, I always feel like I get to make a wish. It isn't the wish card.
Yeah.
'Tis not. But it is an invitation to have hope and to aspire. And to me, a wish is having hope for something. And so I want you to, from this place of asking for what you need, I want you to make a wish tonight under this big Aquarius sexy full moon. And make it a weird wish, because Aquarians are weird. Aquarians would say, I wish for a chicken coop full of chickens. Okay. I mean, okay, it's weird, but
my
a beehive.
dad's an Aquarius.
Your dad's an Aquarius?
Yeah, because...
Is he weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love you, Skylar. My mom's an Aquarius. She's weird. If she was here, she'd tell you she's weird. She's been visited by aliens a bunch of times in her life. I mean, if that doesn't qualify her as weird, frankly, I don't know what does. Of course they pick an Aquarius, right? I mean, my mom and my grandmother are both Aquarius, and they both had multiple visitations by, extraterrestrials their entire life that are intense. And, of course, I would pick an Aquarian, too, if I was an alien. I'd be like, go with the weird people. They're not going to... Nobody's going to believe them anyway. All right. Woo. And then they're like, but don't tell the Leo. She'll tell everybody. I know. My mom has said she will talk about her experiences if I put a camera in front of her. I just need to sit down and do it. Cue siren. All right. Did you make your wish?
Yeah.
You blow out your candle. Yeah? Send it up. I'm going to close my eyes and make my wish. All right. Now, is there anything else you need from this Stargate? Validation, affirmation?
No.
What do you want? In other words, you're going home right now, right? You're home. Before you leave, is there anything else you need? Something that you need to hear, a message that you need to channel, something that you need to download, wisdom. So I want you to close your eyes. And you may not even know what it is. What I like to do is ask the guides and ask the angels and ask the guardians of the gateways to just download through me whatever needs to come through at this time, because I don't pretend to know what I need. So if you're open to that, just say, I agree to receive, download, and channel whatever wisdom and insight I need right now. It's almost like putting tools in your toolbox to help you finish this journey. That's how I see it. So maybe you're missing a screwdriver for one of your problems, right? So go get the tools that you need. You're home now. Maybe you need to change something about your appearance, or maybe you need to change something about your attitude to certain people or situations. Maybe you need to open your heart in a way that it's been closed and you know it. Maybe you need to ask for forgiveness for something that you've done wrong, for hurting someone. Maybe you need to seek forgiveness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you need to give forgiveness to someone who hurt you but is sincerely wrong and would like to move forward with their life too, right? The one thing I know for sure about human existence is we never have the right to hurt each other, not consciously. If you ever hurt someone consciously, you accrue karmic debt. And that karmic debt works itself out in this lifetime. That's one thing I know for sure. And so if you need to receive forgiveness or give forgiveness, I think that is something that would be really beautiful for you to open your heart tonight and just quietly. And again, what you can do if you don't even know is just say, if I have consciously harmed anyone, I seek forgiveness tonight. And if anyone has consciously harmed me, I seek to forgive them tonight. If you're willing to do it, I'm going to close my eyes and do it. Up to you. It's good for your soul, though. It's also good for your liver and your kidneys. Sincerely, your organs hold anger and bitterness. So you really do detox your liver and kidneys when you do that. Oh, okay. And so I want you to imagine we are going to prepare to leave these beautiful cosmic realms. Take a look around before you go. Can you see it in your mind's eye? Can you feel the expanse? It's almost like a tree where you're climbing the trunk, but then above you, it's like the branches go forever, right? The stars just expand forever. The Milky Way, the galaxy extends, and there's galaxies within galaxies and beyond galaxies. So let yourself just enjoy that expanse one more time. Remember how not small you are. And now, Spirit Guides, we ask that you escort us back through the gateway that you chose for us, or that we chose for ourselves tonight, returning us home to the original gateway, the original connection for this lifetime, the original contract. If there's any additional coding or recoding of our DNA that needs to happen at this time to prepare us for the remaining phases of this human experience, we ask to receive those now. And this is where real cellular repair can happen that radically can impact your health and well-being. So if you've got pain anywhere, ask to have it recoded, especially if it's impacting your ability to live your life. And now, Spirit Guides, we ask that you bring us back through that gateway. We're opening the Soul Star Chakra to return now into our physical containers, moving with that liquid beam of light down into our crown chakra now. Bringing our presence, our focus back. It's almost like I feel my brain like turn back on, like, oop, yep, here we are. All of a sudden your problems come back. It's like, oh yeah, whoops, I forgot. You ever feel like that? If you really learn how to meditate, you really can shed it all. And then when you come back to it, it's like, ooh, I don't want to go back. Like, wherever I was, that was really good just now. Woo. Yeah, all in my experience, energetically, liver issues tend to be a lot of karmic debt. And so people come in with liver issues as babies and children. How do you explain that, right? Like, but it's radically common. And then it gets exacerbated through age. And so really, truly, if you look at, and kidney disease is on the rise, like, and people are more bitter and kind of like, there's more of that than ever. There's a connection between those things. And you also see a connection between people who tend to hold on to anger and they tend to be heavier through the middle. And so there's a relationship between energy and your physical body. And I've experienced it. That's exactly right. Very interesting, right? The bladder too, to a certain extent, although the bladder tends to be other things. The bladder tends to be mother karma through the mother line. We could talk about this all night. I know. One day I'm going to write a book. I just don't have time yet. In my later years, I'll work on it. All right. And now really feeling back into your body, wiggling fingers and toes. Want to get you nice and grounded. Be good to eat a meal after this. When we go that far out, you got to really get back in your body. Shake your tail feathers a little bit. Get your hips going. So grateful to the guardians of the gateways for holding the container for us to have this beautiful vision and journey tonight. And so, guardians of the lower realm, thank you for helping us plug in to a bigger power source, keeping us stable as we journeyed. And we give thanks and release you from this ceremony space. And guardians of the middle world, we thank you for the beauty of our collective. We thank you for this here and now moment. Because for all the challenges of this life, It's really beautiful. And I work with a lot of clients who are in the later years of their lives, and I try to learn. And the number one thing I hear from them is, I wish I had appreciated the beauty and slowed down to notice it more earlier. Because I was so busy, there's 10 years where I didn't notice anything, and it's like, take the time to notice it now. And that's what the middle world is. It's the here and now moment. And it's the place where we can really connect more deeply with each other with intention, to love each other, to be good to each other, to be in service to each other. And we release the guardians of the middle world with grace and gratitude. Guardians of the upper world, it was an honor and a privilege to work in your realms this evening. We give thanks for the wisdom, the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional healing that transformed our experience this evening, coding and recoding of our DNA line, energy streams moving through, remembering our star lineage, reconnecting with our soul purpose so that we don't feel as exhausted by this human work that we have to do. I'm feeling really guided as I'm letting go of the guardians of this gateway to tell you to look into people's eyes more. What a strange thing to tell you. I swear to you, it's really interesting. They literally stopped me and said, tell them to look into people's eyes more. Do you know how many people don't want to look in your eyes? I do weird things with my eyes. I transmute code with my eyes, so some people get very uncomfortable when I make sustained eye contact with them. Some people want it. They're like, just stare at me. But some people are like, they'll kind of look at me, but it's real shifty, It looks kind of weird, actually. But I've just learned to manage it because I know what I do. But don't be afraid to look in people's eyes. They're communicating with you without words. And that's how you're going to find your hive. You'll know your people when you look at them in the eye, but you have to be brave enough to look and see. Okay, I did my job. We release the guardians of the upper world with gratitude. Your eyes have never changed. I could have known you 3,000 years ago. I would know you by your eyes. So that's the only way you're going to recognize me. It's the only way I'm going to recognize you. But we're starting to avert the gaze, is what they're saying. Guardians of the North, we release you with gratitude. Thank you for stabilizing, centering, protecting us. Grandfather energy in the North, reminding us that our souls are as old as time, as wise as those trees. And Guardians of the West, we also release you with grace and gratitude, humility, mother, grandmother energy. We thank you for that warm embrace, that constant stream of tenderness, unconditional love flowing through, a love that will see you through any action or reaction you ever express. Guardians of the South, we release you with gratitude. Thank you for helping us transform, become a brighter, more enlightened version of ourselves. Thank you for teaching us how to shapeshift fearlessly. And then Guardians of the East, we release you. Thank you for this beautiful Aquarian Eastern energy of letting us think differently tonight, maybe for the first time in a long time, about how we can show up to our lives in a new way. Thank you for helping us tonight let go of judgment and resentment and anger and frustration in service of a new perspective. That's what Aquarian energy is all about. See it in a different way now. Every person you look at that you have conflict with, consciously say to yourself, starting tonight, see them in a different way. I'm not saying to see them in a better way, bless you, but commit to seeing them in a different way. Turn the diamond, turn the diamond, turn the diamond. We get stuck on things as humans. We put people in boxes or we put pictures in frames, and that's the only way we can ever see them after that. Because our minds want things to be simple and categorized. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you commit to taking the frame off and forcing yourself to see someone or something in a new way, you're going to change your life and theirs at the same time. You liberate them from their past. When you won't let the frame go, you enslave them to it. Does that make sense? Even our children, you know what I mean? It's like, I have a friend who had a child who was diagnosed as gifted and talented. Ooh. I was diagnosed as gifted and talented. It's a weird thing, and it really doesn't mean much, but she was very excited about it, okay? But after that, if the child ever made a mistake, it was like, but she's gifted and talented. She could only see her child through that lens. Do you know what that did to the child? The fear of making a mistake, was so debilitating. Okay? You have to see your child through the lens of what a beautiful human being. Very human. You know what I mean? Gotta make mistakes. So it's about like really noticing. I would love for you to journal tonight. Let's put it this way. Tonight, while you're under this moon, I want you to write down the names of all the people that you are in close relationship with. And write down some keywords. Describe the frame that you have their picture in. I don't care if the relationship's great or not great. It's even more interesting when it's not great. When it's great, you're like beautiful, special, loving. When it's not great, you're like gnarly, whatever your frame is, unpleasant. But imagine, and then if you forced yourself to, and then underneath it, new keywords. Interesting, right? Different, unique. I always say unique because it doesn't hurt people's feelings. I'm always like, that's very unique. It literally is one of a kind, right? And if you commit to that, I think you'll find it to be a very interesting exercise. And if you're brave enough, show the person. Show them the words before and show them the words that you're shifting toward. I guarantee if you're married, this is a hoot and a half. This could be your entertainment for the entire evening, and you're welcome. I don't know where it's going to go for you, but it could be really, really good. Thank you for being here. Amen. So it is. My wish for you is that your wish comes true. In perfect time and in alignment with your soul's highest path and calling. May it be so. Really want to eat this peach. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to go for kombucha first because eating a peach is like eating spaghetti on a date. Like, are you really going to do that? It's going to be all drippy. Watch. And then the skin's going to get stuck in my teeth. And then someone will write in and say, I really didn't like watching Athena eat a peach. No. All right, you guys. Cheers to you. I have 2 more things to tell you really quickly that are very important. Starting, what is it technically starting? I think it's September 1st. It is September 1st. Have you guys heard of light and shadow? It's a shadow class that I taught last year. Everybody's asked me to teach it again. I kind of am in a way. So the next 3 months of Soul Shift are a new and condensed version of light and shadow. So from September 1st, not right now, from September 1st through December 1st. So all of September, all of October, all of November, we are doing shadow work. It's the shadow season. So if you've been thinking about Soul Shift and you're like, well, maybe it's too late, I should have started at the beginning, I will tell you that this is probably the last time to register for the rest of the year. And if you start September 1st, you should commit through the end of November. You don't have to, but the juice of it's going to be in October when we work with Hecate. And we're touring the underworld in our shamanic journey. So it's going to be a very interesting experience for all of us, I think. Different than you might expect. But if you've been wanting to, shadow work, what shadow work is it's really the study of the parts of yourself that you have repressed. Either because your parents didn't like them, or your partner didn't like them, or you didn't like them, or you got in trouble for them. But those little bits in you are still there, and they need to be addressed, or they start to address themselves. And it ends up creating really difficult patterns in your life. So if you're really ready to change your life and the way you relate to people, the next 3 months could be very powerful for you. So would you mind grabbing it for me really quickly? So I wanted to show you, this is the art that Gabriel made. So for Soul Shift, the butterfly was our symbol for transformation. But for Shadow Shift, we're doing the moth. Isn't it beautiful? So we shifted our art from the butterfly to the moth. Because we've been shifting and changing and transforming and coming out of the chrysalis all year. But now we're going to seek the light. You like it? The stamp of approval from him. Okay, if you're already in Soul Shift, there's nothing for you to do. There isn't some other program for you to join. This is Soul Shift. But I'm doing a 3-month section within it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's focused on shadow work. Then in December, we are transitioning because 2020 will be right around the corner. Last thing I wanted to tell you for tonight is that this is the enter to win for today. It's an $800 black and pink tourmaline heart that was hand carved by the man who mined the stone. The wholesale price is $400. So retail price is usually 50% more. So I am gifting this to one person in their order tomorrow, and it only started at 4 o'clock. So it's only 8 hours long. You have to put Shadow Heart in your notes. on sagegoddess.com. I think our full moon kits are sold out. They were like 85 or 90% sold out when we started tonight. So if you didn't get a full moon kit, I think there's 10 or 15 of them left. So that would be a good purchase for you to make. Does that help? And then the perfume from tonight, if you want it for Stargate Crossing, is also available separately if you didn't want to get the whole kit. You can get the perfume. Mine is floating around somewhere. I hope you guys enjoyed it tonight too. All right, you guys. Well, I will look forward to seeing you next week. We've got all kinds of things happening. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your full moon. Tonight, we've got no eclipse, no nothing to prevent you from charging your stones, unless you've got cloud cover. But that cloud cover doesn't matter. The moon can still see your stones. So get your stones out tonight, charge them up, enjoy the rest of this beautiful full moon. Thank you for being there with us. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Thanks, you guys.